The moment you stepped into the company building, a wave of greetings welcomed you. Employees passing by smiled at you with admiration, and you returned their warmth effortlessly. Good morning, Miss Ryan. Good morning. Did you get your coffee yet? The young intern chuckled. Not yet, but I will soon. You nodded with a small smile and continued walking. Your presence carried a comforting energy, and people naturally gravitated towards you, not just because you were the CEO's secretary, but because you treated everyone with kindness. You are looking lovely today, ma'am. Flattery this early, I should assign you more work. You said, laughing lightly. They laughed, knowing you were just teasing. As you approached Jungkook's office, his assistant, Jina, walked up to you. Miss Ryan, Mr. John has been in since 7 a.m. He seems a little tense today. You sighed. Tense? What happened? Gina hesitated. Nothing major, but he's been in a mood. Maybe you can work your magic. She winked playfully. You chuckled, shaking your head. You all act like I have some secret power over him. Gina grinned. Well, you kind of do. There's a reason you are his girlfriend. Rolling your eyes, you pushed open the glass doors to Jungkook's office. Your desk was positioned near his, inside his large, sophisticated workspace. The arrangement was intentional. Jungkook liked having you close. You headed straight to your desk, carefully avoiding eye contact with the CEO of John Enterprises, your boss, Jungkook. You weren't just his secretary, you were his girlfriend, but at work the two of you had always maintained a strict professional boundary. No stolen glances, no unnecessary conversation, just business. Yet today was different because today you were deliberately ignoring him. Jungkook, seated in his luxurious leather chair, glanced up from his laptop when he heard the familiar sound of your heels clicking against the marble floor. Normally, you would greet him with a soft good morning, but today you just placed the files on his desk and turned away. Jungkook frowned. No good morning today? You halted for a brief second but continued walking without a response. Jungkook's eyes narrowed as he watched you take a seat at your desk. His fingers tapped against the desk as confusion flickered across his face. I'm just busy. Jungkook's frown deepened. Busy? Jungkook frowned slightly, leaning back in his chair. Maybe you were just busy. A few hours passed, and although Jungkook noticed something was off with you, he noticed you didn't say good morning, you didn't bring his coffee, nor tease him like you often do when you see him too focused. It all was making him crazy, but he was saving it for later. Right now, Jungkook had called you in the meeting room. You entered with your notepad, standing at a respectable distance, your attitude strictly professional. Jungkook laced his fingers together, watching you closely. Did you send the revised report to Mr. Choi? Yes, sir. It was sent an hour ago. His brow twitched when he heard sir. You never called him that unless you were joking or in front of others. Right now it was just the two of you. And the files from the finance team? I forwarded them to your email, sir. There it was again, sir. He let out a slow breath, leaning forward. Are you okay? Yes, sir. You weren't even looking at him, and it was annoying him. He narrowed his eyes. Ryan, did I do something to upset you? You kept your expression neutral. No, sir. Should I bring you coffee? Jungkook clenched his jaw. You were answering everything in the shortest way possible, not even looking at him properly. Something was definitely off. Fine, bring me a black coffee. Understood, sir. You turned and walked out before he could say anything more. Later that day, Jungkook stepped out of his office, casually walking towards your desk. Ryan, let's go over the schedule for tomorrow. You nodded, pulling up the calendar without glancing at him. You have a board meeting at 10 a.m., a lunch meeting with Mr. Lee at 1 p.m., and a conference call at 4 p.m. Jungkook tilted his head. Usually you would tease him about hating meetings or remind him to eat between appointments. Today nothing. Do I have time for a workout? There's a free slot at 5 p.m. His fingers tapped against your desk, trying to get your attention. Why, are you avoiding me? You finally looked up but kept your expression unreadable. Of course not, sir. Do you need me to adjust your schedule? He looked at you for some time. You could feel his gaze on you but tried to remain calm, although you knew you were just testing his patience. His voice dropped when he spoke again. What's wrong? You shook your head. Nothing. I'll have this done in an hour. You were about to get up, but he grabbed your hand, making you stop. Don't give me that. You are ignoring me. I'm working. Bullshit. You have been cold to me since you walked in. You exhaled slowly and pulled your hand back, something you would only do if you're mad, still avoiding his eyes. I have things to finish. Excuse me. His expression was unreadable. Frustration, confusion, and something deeper shimmered beneath. But you didn't say anything else and walked away, and that pissed him off even more. The day dragged on and Jungkook found himself increasingly agitated. He tried everything, asking for files, making comments, even dropping hints that he was annoyed. But you remained polite and professional, answering only when necessary. By lunchtime, he was done playing games. As you picked up your phone to order food, Jungkook spoke. Let's eat together. You paused but didn't look up. I'm not hungry. Jungkook scoffed. That's a lie. You always eat at this time. Not today. His eyes narrowed. He stood up and walked towards you. His presence was overwhelming. You felt him standing right next to you, but you refused to meet his gaze. Why? You remained silent, but you could see him getting annoyed. Talk to me, Vian. What are you exactly trying to prove by ignoring me like this? You didn't say anything. He exhaled sharply and clenched his fist. Fine. And just like that, he walked out of the room. You let out a breath you didn't realize you were holding, but you knew this wasn't over. After that, you didn't get to see Jungkook for some hours and you realized he was pissed off by now, but you have your reasons to be like this. Three years ago, you joined this company as a secretary, and for Jungkook, you are his first love at first sight. He never prioritized relationship in his life because he didn't think he was ready for it until you worked in the office, and so in his life. Everything changed after that. The way you were excellent at your job since day one, the way you handle things, and the way you make him feel so comfortable and different was a sign for him that you are the one. So slowly that professional relationship started turning into more personal. Jungkook purposely kept your work desk in his office so that he can keep you in front of him all the time. And after 6 months, he finally confessed his feelings for you, and you accepted because, of course, who wouldn't fall for him? He was such a gentleman you have ever worked with. So much about him changed in these past years, and you were so close to each other now. Everyone knows about your relationship, but recently he hid something from you and you got to find it out by yourself. That made you little upset, and that's why you are ignoring him. Wine, ma'am, can I have you for a minute, please? Jungkook was coming from the other side when he noticed you going with Brian. He was already restless with how you were behaving with him, and now seeing you all smiling and talking with Brian made him go crazy. Why, can I see you in my office? Other employees got alert, hearing the strictness in his voice. You looked up from Brian's seat. Okay, I'll be there in a few. Not in a few minutes, but right now, he said, cutting you off. You dropped the pen down as you were helping Brian to understand some data. Okay, you said walking past him without even looking. Employees exchanged glances once you both left because today something was off. Is everything okay between them? Mr. John looked a little annoyed. Don't know, man. Even Miss Wyan seemed to ignore him today. Maybe that's why he's mad. Really? But why is she ignoring him? She looked in a good mood in the morning. Jungkook clenched his jaw, determined to get to the bottom of this. The moment you walked in his office, he spoke. Are you upset about something? No, sir. Cut that sir first. It's annoying me. You both looked at each other for some time before you lowered your eyes. Jungkook was now just inches away from you. What's going on? You blinked. What do you mean? Don't play dumb. You have been avoiding me all day. You kept your expression neutral. I'm just focused on work. Jungkook let out a humorless laugh. Really? Since when does focusing on work means pretending I don't exist? You stayed silent. Jungkook clenched his jaw. Talk now. There's nothing to talk about. His patience snapped. That's bullshit. And you know it. You flinched at the sharpness of his tone. Jungkook exhaled, running a hand through his hair. You know what? Fine, keep playing this game, but I'll find out sooner or later. You went back to your work without a word or a glance at him, and Jungkook already planned how to end this. He was just waiting for you to drop your act, but it didn't happen. By the evening, Jungkook was done playing along. He watched as you prepared to leave, grabbing your bag. Without a word, you walked past him, heading towards the elevator. But just before you could step in, a hand grabbed your wrist. Enough. You turned, startled, as he pulled you aside, away from the staff's prying eyes but still in the open office space. Tell me what's wrong now. You bit your lip, refusing to answer. Why are you ignoring me? Still, you stayed silent. Jungkook scoffed. His patience was breaking, and before you could react, his hands curved your face and he crashed his lips against yours. Gasp echoed from the few employees who hadn't left yet. The office froze as Jungkook kissed you in front of everyone. Your eyes widened in shock. You felt the warmth of his lips, the frustration in his grip. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a demand for an answer. When he pulled away, his eyes burned into yours. Now tell me what the hell is going on. Your breath hitched. You were still processing what he just did. The employees quickly looked away and focused on their work when you noticed them, but Jungkook didn't care about anything. Right now, his only focus was on you. Will you tell me or I need to kiss you again? You looked at him for some time. He waited, searching your face. You finally sighed. I saw the contract. His brows furrowed. Contract? You looked down, avoiding his gaze. The one for your business trip. It says you are leaving for 6 months. Jungkook's body stiffened. You weren't supposed to see that yet. Your voice wavered. Why didn't you tell me? I've noticed you are hiding a lot of things from me lately, and I can't ignore that. Jungkook cursed under his breath. He ran a frustrated hand through his hair. So you ignored me this whole morning because of that, and I promise I'm not hiding anything. And if you are talking about that rumor last time, I told you clearly that there was nothing like that. He was talking about a month ago when he went on a business trip and was spotted with a lady. The rumor started that he might be dating that woman, and even you couldn't believe it. You knew Jungkook well, but seeing those photos and hearing those whispers left you confused and hurt. Later, you confronted him about it and he explained that the woman was his client's wife, someone who ran several organizations, and he had simply been accompanying her for a business meeting. You bit your lip, nodding slightly. Jungkook groaned, rubbing his temples. Fine, I was going to tell you when the dates were finalized. You cut him off, your voice trembling slightly, but you didn't, and I had to find out like this. He let out a long sigh, his eyes softening as he took a step towards you. I didn't want you to feel like I was just disappearing. I was planning to tell you, but the details weren't confirmed yet. You blinked, trying to process his words, but it still hurts, Jungkook. You could have told me, I would have understood. Why keep it a secret? He gently cupped your face, tilting your chin up to meet his eyes. I didn't think you would take it well, with everything going on right now, but it's just work. It doesn't change how I feel about you. Why? You're my girlfriend. Do you really think I would just leave you behind? Your eyes softened, but you stayed silent. Your chest tightened, and you couldn't help but feel a wave of relief washing over you, mixed with a trace of embarrassment for jumping to conclusions. I'm sorry, you whispered, looking down at your feet. I shouldn't have ignored you. Jungkook exhaled, a small smile tugging at his lips. And I shouldn't have let you. So we are both guilty, huh? You looked up at him, a small laugh escaping your lips despite the lingering tension. I guess so. Jungkook cupped your face, forcing you to look at him. Do you trust me? You exhaled. Yes. His lips curled into a small smirk. Good, then don't ever ignore me like that again. You sighed, finally giving in. Okay. Jungkook sighed in relief, his forehead resting against yours for a moment. Then his smug returned, this time more playful. Also. You blinked. What? Jungkook leaned in, his breath ghosting over your ear. If you ever ignore me again, I'll kiss you in front of everyone, every single time. Your face turned red instantly. From outside the glass walls, the office staff pretending to be busy typing furiously on their keyboards, but the knowing glances they exchanged said it all. One thing was clear, ignoring Jungkook was never an option.